What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Golden Girl Getaways Travel Podcast. My name is Josh, and of course, each and every week, I'm joined by my friend and co-host, Matt. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Josh? Happy episode 19.
Yes, happy episode, TGIF. I'm stumbling on my words already.
I know it's middle. How is it already the middle of May?
I have no idea. It is crazy how quickly time is flying by.
I know summer's going to be here soon.
Oh my goodness. Right around the corner. And speaking of summer approaching, we have got a bunch of theme park news that has just come out literally within the last 24 to 48 hours that we will be talking about tonight. But of course, contrary to last week, which Matt and I think we could say that we did a half decent job, right? I mean,
I'm going to say that was probably the best episode we've had.
It was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good that, Matt and I seem to be able to handle our own. But this week, we have got another Gold Deal Getaways travel agent joining us once again. Well, actually, for the first time. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh,
Good.
we are doing great. So glad that it is Friday.
Yeah.
Right?
But welcome to the podcast, Brittany. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And tonight we're going to be talking about vegan options, really, I guess, around Walt Disney World, Disney parks. But if you wouldn't mind, maybe just telling everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. I've been with Gold Go Getaways for a little while now. I came in mid-pandemic, so
Okay.
And I specialize in Disney vacations, and also I've been really getting into United States trips because I know a lot of people are, not really ready to go outside of the United States. So I've been working on a lot of in the United States trips. I've been a vegan for about 7 or 8 years now, and so I kind of know the ins and outs and the ropes of the parks when it comes to that, and I'm excited to talk about it.
That's awesome.
Awesome. I would, I think going through the pandemic, one thing that we would have loved to have done more of, but we were really unsure of how much we could actually do, would have been to see a lot more of the United States. And I think with everything being said, I think we're going to try to start doing that a lot more. So we have, I don't think Taylor's really listening, but we got I have a little special birthday surprise for her birthday this year. So we'll be doing a little bit of traveling that's in the States here, but
yeah,
I don't think she's listening really. I think she's probably on TikTok or something like that.
Hopefully.
Is that what she was doing earlier when she was singing?
Yes. Yeah.
Those crazy kids and their TikToks.
Tell me about it. So, all right. Well, if you guys are new to Gold Go Getaways, we are a full service travel agency helping you plan anywhere, just as Brittany was talking about, all throughout the United States. We also specialize in Disney, of course. We are an authorized Disney vacation planner. So whether you're looking to do Walt Disney World, head out to Disneyland, or even the cruise line, which we talked all about last week with the Disney Wish, we've got an agent who can help you plan your next destination vacation, whether you have big kids, small kids, or no kids at all. You can head on over to goldgogetaways.com to start planning. And what a great time it is, because things are going to quickly start changing here in the States. So, but of course, each and every week, this podcast is brought to you by Chef Adam, who is taking a slight break. He's doing some cool stuff with his skills, but something that you should be on the lookout for are these pop-up classes where you can learn to cook at home. And this is a great example where Adam will walk you through via Zoom how to prepare some really great dishes. Some of them are very intricate, some of them not so much. But the most important thing here is that you're learning a lot of stuff that you get to keep and use, for forever. So we actually today made cheeseburger egg rolls again, which we did. Boy, that was at the beginning of the series back in January, maybe.
Yeah,
I think. So, and of course, we always love to show this video, which is me dropping the Ronto wrap that we did a couple weeks ago on the laptop. So that wasn't good. But yeah, if you're out there, you're listening, you're wondering, you're interested, you can send Adam an email at adamgoldgell@gmail.com, or you can head to www.adamgoldgell.com to learn more. So
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm pretty sure last I checked, he doesn't have any active classes right now. Again, he's going to be doing some traveling for work, but he did tell me to be aware that there will be some pop-up classes. Specifically, I know that we will be trying to do some theme park stuff. So I'm excited.
Awesome. I mean, he makes it so easy.
Absolutely.
I remember one of the original classes I did was I'm a mac and cheese guy. I did the mac and cheese class. I'm no chef in the kitchen. He was able to break it down and bring it to my level of knowledge in the kitchen and just make it easy. And especially the portion size that he has us cook. I was good for a week and a half.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, when we did those cheeseburger egg rolls, we had 2 friends over. And I think we still had, I don't know, like a dozen cheeseburger egg rolls left over. And we laid them out on a sheet, froze them individually, and then we threw them into a bag. And like, we had those for a while. So definitely worth checking out, especially all the theme park stuff. We've got some more stuff coming. So just, stay tuned. But yeah, Matt, I'm going to throw it over to you, man.
Yep.
Let's get into some of the good stuff.
It's the cruise everybody wants to go on in 2021. Let's be honest, Josh. Barbados with the boys and Taylor.
And Taylor.
I can't leave her. I can't leave her out. December 12th, 2021. 7-night Southern Caribbean island hop. We're leaving out of Barbados. Stopping in Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent's, Dominica, and St. Lucia. Like we talked about in the past, the best part about this cruise is it's an island hop.
Yes.
No sea days, a lot of exploring, a lot of adventures, a lot of excursions. I'm excited to try a lot of different cuisines. I want everybody to join us. This is going to be the end of 2021. As our friend Larry Bond said, #revenge vacation.
That's a really great way to put this cruise into a little perspective is probably not the right word, but it's a great way to look at this as a cruise to really get back at everything that's happened, but also a fantastic way to end the year and to just have like a nice smooth sailing into 2022.
Yeah.
Assuming. But this is, I cannot wait for this. This is a cruise where you're going to get to see some islands that you've never gotten to see before. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to be doing some port adventures. We're definitely going to be hanging out on the ship, probably later at nights, probably having a few drinks.
And into the early morning.
I mean, we have to be doing this right here. I'm sure that they're going to be doing this, which is something we show every week. This is from our last group cruise that we did. We had a pretty nice group. They were awesome. We made some amazing friends. We still talk to a lot of them, but this is where it's at right here. This is the silent disco, if you don't know. So you don't hear anything except for just people singing loudly. There's no music because it's all in the headphones.
This gets me every time. I can't wait to experience this, either as like myself dancing like a fool, or watching you still dance like a fool.
Yes, and I mean, we will be doing, we'll be doing some YouTubing. We'll be recording it, so I mean, it will live on forever.
I have
somewhere.
an idea.
Yes,
I have an idea for your trip.
Share.
I don't know if you guys have seen Hamilton.
Yes,
but where they say Aunt Peggy. So you guys can get shirts that say like Barbados with the boys, and Taylor can get a shirt that says Ann Taylor as like a play off of Hamilton.
Ooh.
Oh, that is. Hold on, I'm going to write that down real quick. That is excellent. I love that idea.
And the fun part about that, right now, I think Royal Caribbean still got some promos going on where it's still got some great pricing. I'm going to wait for Josh to finish writing that down. Actually, I think he's designing the shirt.
I am. I'm designing
it. We want you to join the cruise. It's going to be events@gogellgetaways.com.
Oh, yes. Let me throw that up there so everybody can see it.
Everybody can see it because we want everybody to join. And just before I get the text message, yes, Marianne, we know you're on the cruise. We're excited, Marianne. You're on the cruise with us. Before I get the text message, Josh, that's how my night usually consists of.
Excellent.
Title, subject, Barbados with the boys. It's going to be an amazing time. On to the next one. We got some room blocks. So these aren't group cruises. They're just great prices we were able to get at a lower rate, where we have blocked off rooms in 2 different cruises. We're going to be both on school vacation weeks. It's going to be February 19th, 2022, 7-night Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas, leaving out of Miami. Stops in Perfect Day, Coco Cay, Antigua, and St. Thomas. We got a room block for that one, and the one April 16th. Want to join? Subject title, February vacation, April vacation. Real simple. Those are going to be 2 great trips. Perfect Day is awesome, especially for school vacations. If you have little ones, jump into that water park right there and just have a blast. Josh, when you went to Perfect Day, did you get on the water slides?
Oh yes. We climbed. I think we climbed this tower twice and did that slide twice. And then we made sure that we did everything in the park at least once, because we want to make sure that, we got our value out of the ticket. So it's amazing. It's awesome. You will not regret it. Just like Matt said, this is 2 cruises, perfect times of the year, especially in February, where, especially if you're up north, take a break from that winter, the cold, the snow, everything. Get a little bit of heat, get some sunshine, see a few things down in the Caribbean, and just enjoy a relaxing day at Perfect Day Coco Cay. So,
yep, Josh, I'm going to pass the ball over to you, because this is the big one for now of 2022.
This is the big one for now. As of 2022, that may change here within the next couple of weeks, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens. We are going to be doing another group cruise 2022 on Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas. This is a 7-night Alaskan cruise. It is sailing out July 15th, 2022. And we had this originally planned for the summer, and obviously we had to postpone it. Really want to make sure that we get the absolute most that we can get out of this cruise, because we're going to Alaska, baby. And when you go to Alaska, I mean, there's just so much to see and experience. So we wanted to make sure that we were going to have the absolute best possibilities to do that. So we're going to be seeing whales. We're going to be walking on glaciers, probably doing some dog sledding, maybe flying in a helicopter, maybe eating fresh salmon. Sorry, Brittany. I don't know. Maybe panning for gold. There is so many possibilities when you go to Alaska. Beautiful scenery. I know I'm personally planning on renting some camera gear, and I can't wait. So if you're interested, you can send an email to events@goldgalgetaways.com. We have got. Yeah. Can I talk? Nope. We have got quite a few people on this cruise already. So feel free to come along, and we're going to have a blast. And if you're looking to do it, events@goldgalgetaways.com, and just put in the subject line, Alaska 2022.
Live podcast. Live podcast on the glacier.
Live podcast. We're going to be doing 2, trying to do one from Barbados too. Well, maybe not Barbados itself, but I'm trying to think. We'll see.
How about we do it from dog sledding from in the little.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. We'd have to be streaming on the phones, but we could do it. We could make it work for sure.
Josh, I believe in you. You're the technical person behind this. You can make it. You can make anything happen.
Let me write that down. Josh is the technical person. All right, I got that. Yeah, awesome. We have anything else to add?
Not on the cruise. Not on that. Maybe in a couple weeks we may have something else. Who knows?
Maybe in a couple weeks. I was actually told tonight that I should throw this out there as a teaser. Everybody starts saving for 2023, because we are working on a pretty big trip that's going to require you to have a passport. No passport book, a passport book. You can't have a card. Must be a passport book. And we might be going to Tokyo. I can't say any more than that. That's all I can say.
Wow, that was a lot. Wow, Josh, that was a lot more than I was expecting you to say.
I know, but
you could have just kept it a passport in
I was told to tease it a little bit. It's in the works. We've reached out to
That's
several
more of a
different
tease.
vendors, so
Hopefully going to Disney.
Maybe not. Who knows?
I
Can't
can't
tell.
say anything. I can't say anything more than what I've already said.
Yep.
So yeah, but be on the lookouts, and we'll update you all with more information as we have it. So,
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's move on to this week's news, which we have got a lot of. All right, Matt. So what are we looking at for news this week? Because I know that is a lot.
Yeah, we left a lot of stuff in here from last week too, just because it's a lot of information, good information, and we're trying to be more positive as we get older in the podcast. Packages are available all the way through the summer in 2022. Take advantage of those. Get your deposits down because rooms are going to book up, especially with the 50th anniversary going all the way until the end of 2022. And that summertime is when kids are out of school. Parents usually take vacations. Get a deposit down. Get together with your Go Getaways agent and start planning that vacation.
Yeah.
The big news that came out of last week, Boo Bash, Josh. I can't wait. I can't wait for this. Think about it. We just talked about it being the middle of May. That starts in the middle of August. That's almost here. Like it's crazy.
I think is this something maybe we can try to get together for GoldCon maybe? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Oops. I might not be allowed to say that. I don't know.
Yeah, if you showed up to the meeting on Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. I was not there.
You're the technical guy. You could do anything.
I know, right?
Yeah, it would be ideal that we could get it a part of an option for our agency get together.
Yes.
But I'm really looking forward to this. It's an after hours party. It's going to be going 9 to 12 on select nights, all the way right up until Halloween. Cavalcades, characters, special performances, the decor, the lighting, all the Halloween stuff. With stuff starting to happen, Josh, the F word might come back. Fireworks, you never know.
Oh, I was wondering if you were actually going to say that. With everything that we've just heard within the last 24 hours, actually within the last 12 hours, really.
12. It's been like the last 4.
I do think that we might see that come back. It's a very strong possibility. Things are changing rapidly. Obviously, Disney did not make that as something because if they say it, then they can't do it. Right. But even though they didn't mention it, doesn't mean that it can't still happen. So you never know. You never know.
Keep that under wraps right until that August 10th, and then just fireworks just randomly go off.
Oh my gosh.
Place will go nuts.
I'd get the chills if I was there and it happened.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this. I'm curious about the pricing on this with everything going on. Obviously, it's going to be limited capacity. And I like candy, so I'm down. You won me at candy bars.
Well, if you've never done an after hours event before, and you're listening, after hours is probably one of the best bangs, I think, for your buck, just because it is already extremely limited. This is not like a regular Halloween party. It is almost like a ghost town in there. It is so limited a lot of the times. So this is, assuming that they're going to continue with that same capacity as previously before COVID, this is a really, really great thing to try and get in. So I would bet we're going to see these tickets fly off the shelves. So,
Josh, do you think they're going to do it like they've done previous after-hour parties where it's like the unlimited soda, bottled soda, and like the ice cream, or do you think it's just going to be kind of like Mickey Not So Scary, calm down a little bit?
I would. Oh boy, that's a great question. Because we have not had an after hours event like this before, where we've had so much additional stuff, I think, added in for a specific holiday, we might not see those kind of included freebies. But that's not to say that it's not going to happen. I mean, it's happened in the past. I wouldn't go into this thinking like, oh, we're going to get free candy plus free soda and free Mickey ice cream bars or popcorn or whatever they do. I think look at this more as the opportunity to get a little bit of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party with extremely limited amount of people there. Right. And I think that's the way Disney's probably looking at this too. So I would say that I'm going to go regardless of whether they're going to give us that option or not. So
I 100% agree with you. And if we're going for GoldCon, Josh, we got to do whatever everybody else does. We got to dress up. I might go as you, like I did for last Halloween.
I'm gonna. Oh wow, what day is that? I can't go that day. Dress up? No, I'll be there. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to start working on a costume.
Actually, so I know we talked about it like last week, and I kind of put Ryan Levine, one of our agents, on it. So we pretty much named us like the 45 dwarfs, and just blitzed out like extra names of everybody. It's like
okay, all right, all right.
So we're gonna work on T-shirts for that.
All right, I'm down.
What else we got? Festival of the Lion King is reopened. Josh, have you had a chance to get over and see it yet?
I have not. I'm hoping to this week, so we'll see.
Yeah, I was able to watch one of the live feeds of it. I don't see much of a difference. I'm excited that it's back. Kind of got chills when I was watching it on my lunch break. I will do everything in my power when I'm there in July with you guys I will wait in line all day.
Okay. I'm down. I mean, I love that. It's probably one of the best shows on property, and I'm always down to watch it. So yeah. I'm there.
And then just things we added on from last week, especially coming into the time frame we're in. Chef Mickey's dinner opens up, the 14th? On Sunday. Yep. Cape May Cafe opens up on Tuesday. Tusker House this summer. And I know we talked about it before we went on. Brittany, Tusker House is my place. You can't say anything. That's
you can have your place.
That's my go-to. That's my comfort place in the Disney parks. What else we got? We got some Disney Cruise Line news. Josh came out today. Disney extended some suspensions on cruises into July. Yep. The Dream and the Fantasy through the end of July, and the Wonder through July 12th. Which honestly, I'm not surprised by, but right. It just stinks overall. And then the big news, the Wish bookings open up soon, opens up on the 27th. And for Castaway Club members, opens up for Platinum members with 25 cruises or more this Monday.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And we talked, and Josh and I talked earlier today. They announced some of the pricing for it. I'm down. I'm not. It's nothing too crazy. I was expecting worse.
The inaugural cruise. So the very first cruise is expensive when you compare that to, say, a normal 5-night sailing, especially for an inside state room. But it's the very first inaugural cruise, so that's very much to be expected. That's not out of the normal. If anybody seems to be a little bit upset about that, there's no reason to be. Every single cruise company does that for their first inaugural sailing. So, but as you kind of start to drift away from those first couple, price goes back down to normal. So we've been looking at pricing, going all the way throughout the rest of the year for what they've got released. And it's pretty fair, pretty typical pricing. It's not like it's been jacked up because of the pandemic or anything. So we are crossing our fingers so we can get on this cruise, but we'll see. So we'll see.
Like I've said for weeks now, Josh, that August 22 of 22 is my goal date. It's all right. It's far enough away from the inaugural sailing so they can get some kinks out if they need to, and I can get my legs back after coming back from Alaska.
Fair enough for me. So
we can go over to Universal now a little bit.
Yeah.
Still no word on Halloween Horror Night tickets or the official words on what the houses are going to be.
Yep.
But I'm excited about that. We're going to continue to talk about that over the next couple of weeks. Josh, did you do anything fun over the last couple of days at Universal?
I did actually. I missed that meeting on Wednesday because I was too busy at Universal actually. So we got to ride the Velocicoaster, and it is it's going to blow your socks off. Like, it is awesome. Probably the best roller coaster that I've ever been on, and it is so smooth. It's so fast. It's intricate. It's so cool. I talked about this in our video that we're going to be posting later this week, that I think one of the most ingenious things that they have done, which has nothing to do with the actual track itself, but the entire roller coaster is amazing. But the most ingenious thing that they did for this attraction is that if you've got a bag, whenever you go into the lockers, you drop your bag off at the lockers, and it's just before you actually go through the metal detector to actually get onto the attraction. But the key here is that as you get off of Velocicoaster, you come back down, you get your stuff from the other side of the locker. So there's no more like mixing and, bumping shoulders with everybody. It's super smooth.
Double-sided lockers, that's cool.
It is, yeah. It's really, really nice. They really thought of everything with this attraction. And then, of course, it's Jurassic Park themed, and it's just it's super fast. And I don't know. If you haven't got a chance to ride it yet, get over there and ride it. The wait times, I think they've been posting around 60 minutes. We waited 35. So if they have, I think 3 or 4 trains on the track, it flies through the queue line. There's really almost no wait. So get over there, try and ride it if you can, if you're local and listening. If not, if you got to wait a while, I understand FOMO, but it is the best new roller coaster in Florida. So,
and then Josh, can you hit on this one, the mask one?
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to extend this over to Disney as well, because within the last 24, 48, 72 hours, whatever it is, there's been a lot of updates. So with just today, the mayor of Orange County basically said that masks are no longer required outside in public spaces. So immediately once that was made, Universal came right out and said, no more masks starting tomorrow. I believe it's tomorrow, the 15th, in public spaces. So while you're walking around outside at Universal, whether you're at Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios, Universal Orlando, you do not have to have a mask on. But when you go inside, queue lines that are inside, you're going inside to eat, you do have to put your mask on to go in and sit down at the table. So anything that's indoors, you're going to have to wear your mask. While on attractions, you still have to wear your mask. But this is really nice. This is great. That and my brothers were just here. It's a little disappointing for them because we just spent all week over at Universal and we had to wear a mask the whole time. But however, with that being said, Bob Chapek just did their Q2 talks, I think, with Disney, and basically hinted at there will not be masks over here in Walt Disney World this summer. So at least outside, following the same guidance as what Universal is doing from the CDC and local county ordinance. So, things are going to be rapidly changing here very, very quickly. Capacity at all of the Orlando parks is going to be expanding very, very quickly. So if you were just here in March or April and you thought it was kind of getting busy, it's going to be a lot more busy coming June, July, August, as everything starts to just kind of reopen. So, and hopefully everything stays well and, goes the right way and we can keep doing that. So I really did not think that we were going to see masks go away till the end of the year. Mm-hmm. That's initially what Disney was saying. So this is really great news.
Right.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But
I think that's pretty much it from the news, right, Josh?
I think that's pretty much everything. A lot of exciting stuff. Again, things are changing very rapidly, so just stay tuned, and we'll try to keep you guys as up to date as possible. So, we ready to talk about tonight's topic?
Cool. I'm ready. I'm ready when you guys are.
All right. Yeah. So go ahead, Brittany.
Oh no, you go ahead. Oh, did you have a question?
I don't know. I was just
Oh,
gonna
okay.
throw. I was just gonna throw it right over to you.
I caught it. Okay, I got it. Great. Well, I have some notes here and a lot of points on some like tips on if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, how to make the most out of your trip, and kind of how to navigate that situation. Vegetarians, I mean, if you're a vegetarian or vegan listening to this, you know, vegetarians have it a little bit easier and vegans not so much. The parks have been getting, you know, a lot better at it and accommodating those things. And I think I read the other day right now, Disney World with all the parks has like 400 vegan meals, plant-based meals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's still accurate, but I feel like I read that the other day.
Well, you know, I mean, with us being down here and doing what we've been doing on YouTube for so long, I want to say that like even just within like the last couple of years, it's exploded almost.
Mm-hmm.
I think almost at every single restaurant now they have not all of them, but a lot of them they have a dedicated vegan option for people to choose from. You know, they've kind of gone away from their standard menu of just a chicken. You know, it's usually like a chicken steak, fish, maybe a pork shank, and something that's vegetarian. Now it seems that they're kind of getting back to this thing where they make the menus very unique to that location, and they add something that's vegan, which is really, really nice. So
yeah. Usually it's like one dish, you know. If you're lucky, you get one dish, which is pretty cool. And a lot of places now do have one dish. What I'd like to see in the future is maybe 2 or 3 options, you know. But even the one dish from, you know, all the food that I've tried, most of it is really good. I know Magic Kingdom in 2019 came out with a whole kind of like pamphlet flyer that was called, I think, the Disney Cuisine or something like that. And it had a list of just everything that was vegan and vegetarian, where to get it. And I don't know if they still have that, though. Everything with the parks closing. I don't know if the Magic Kingdom still has that. And hopefully, if not, they bring it back and they also add that for the rest of the parks because it was only a Magic Kingdom thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Magic Kingdom still has that. It's just been modified greatly with how the parks have been operating. So
yeah,
but
yeah, for sure. Well, let's get into my points if you guys are ready.
All right, you real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play ignorant here a little bit, and I apologize. Okay. What's the difference between vegan and vegetarian?
Yeah, so and some of it comes down to preference, but most of it is a vegetarian will still eat dairy, so like milk and cheese and sometimes eggs, I think, and probably honey. And then vegans will not have anything that comes from an animal or is plant-based, or, you know, everything has to be plant-based. So no cheese, no egg, no dairy. Depending on the vegan, sometimes no honey, sometimes they do honey. So I feel like that one is a kind of like a random preference.
Honey, yeah, honey's really that's an interesting one. I didn't even think about that. Mm-hmm. Everything else, you know, I can understand. I see that, but honey, yeah, that I didn't even think about that. Interesting.
That's good to know. I appreciate that insight, Brittany. Thank you.
Yeah, and then sometimes, you know, like with vegans, like with vegetarians and vegans both, I guess sometimes they'll have things like if it was cooked on a surface that was cooked with meat, you know, depending on the vegan or the vegetarian, that may or may not be a problem for you. Or like cooked in a fryer with, you know, something that was fried non-vegan or vegetarian. So that's also kind of one of the things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I would say getting into like what you should first do before you even get to the parks, like as you're planning your trip, is check on the My Disney Experience app or the Disneyland app, whichever parks you're going to. And you can look by restaurant, see what's open, and then you can look at their menus and see what they offer. And a lot of times they give a description of like what's in the meal, like the ingredients they use. They don't always put all the ingredients. So, you know, there might be butter and that will work for vegetarian, not a vegan, or things like that. So, but the main ingredients you can kind of see in the app. I don't think they have it for counter service restaurants, but the main sit down restaurants, you can really like dive into their menus and see, what options they have available. And that'll give you a good idea of like, if one restaurant, like I think Yak and Yeti, they have a few different options. And so you can like see, if they have a few options that have something that looks like it could be vegan or vegetarian, that's probably a good place to go. If you see something that may or may not be, but it might be, maybe skip that one and find something, that looks more accommodating. That way, you have a plan before you get to the parks. I've had it where I didn't have a plan and I didn't know what I was going to eat. And, you're all excited and you're going through your vacation and you're, going throughout the day. And then all of a sudden it hits you and you're like starving. And you're like, okay, where do I eat? What can I, like, what's available to me in this area? And then, I've had it where I went to 3 restaurants before I found something I could eat. So it's always good to have just an idea and be prepared. And I put it in my notes in my phone as like a list, just that I can reference.
Right.
Well, and I think the other thing too, Brittany, is that what you kind of hinted at this already is that anytime that you're planning a vacation to whether it's Disneyland or Walt Disney World or wherever, planning ahead of time, especially for something like this, where you're not necessarily always kind of, I don't want this to sound ignorant either, but where you're not really kind of categorized as like the general public, right? Like, it is really, really smart to really try to plan ahead because it's going to make your vacation just so much, smoother, like you said, for Taylor's family, when they would go their first couple of times, her cousin has a tree nut allergy. So I know that that's a little bit different, but at the same time, kind of scheduling everything out in advance, trying to plan all those restaurants in ahead of time, like allows them to be, allows their vacation to be a lot smoother, but it also allows them to be a little bit more adaptable if they need to in certain situations if things change. So absolutely. Like I'm never like trying to like, shameless plug ourselves, but a really great reason to
call
a travel agent, right? Call me,
right.
Send her an email because, planning ahead for these types of things is very important. It will really make your vacation so much better. So,
yeah, especially like character meals. I know that's, kind of going on now. They're there, but like our last trip, we really wanted to do the royal table. And I was able to look at the menus ahead of time and there was really nothing for me to eat. And so I thought like, I don't want to pay all that money and not really have any options, just to see the princesses. And so, going through those character meal menus, you can kind of see what's more accommodating and pick that experience to, what you can eat.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. The next thing is the menus, not on the My Disney Experience app, but the menus themselves will have a little leaf symbol if it's fully plant-based. So as you're looking at menus and things like that, look for the little plant. If you see the little plant leaf, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to substitute anything. You just can order it as it is. And it makes it really easy. And I love that Disney's been doing that. And even for like the festivals and the pamphlets.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I was just going to say is that I think that that's probably the most obvious thing I think that people will notice first when you mention that. I mean, that's the first thing that I thought of was the festival pamphlet books because it's so easy to flip through that and see exactly what is vegan or vegetarian by the little symbols that they put aside, like beside all of those options. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it's fun to like, okay, well, here's the 10 things at this festival that I can eat, and just makes it so easy too to just hit up those booths and, you're good without having to search around for it. So yeah, at the sit down restaurants and the festivals, look for the leaf. That's the main thing.
Okay.
And sometimes you can omit, some ingredients like if you're at a festival and you're looking at the menu and you're like, oh, this kind of, if I take the cheese off of this would be vegan, and that is the case in some situations. But then you also have to think, if it doesn't have the leaf, there might be some cross-contamination issues, even if you omit an ingredient. So that also is for preference, because I know some vegans who don't mind, like I said before, if it was in the same fryer or cooked on the same surface, and so if that doesn't matter to you and omitting those specific ingredients works for you, then you can do that. But just know you can always ask as well. So if you're unsure, like, you can just ask wherever you're eating, hey, if I take this away, will this make it vegan or vegetarian? And if the server doesn't know offhand, they can always go back and ask the chef.
Right.
And, that helps as well. Let's see.
Well, and I think we got a good question here, which I think might go into our next point here, but was will the chef make something for you at request, or you have to order what is on the menu?
Yeah, and that was my next point. Yeah. So at the sit-down restaurants or character meals, you can always ask for the chef, and the chef will come out. I've never been anywhere where you can ask for a chef and they'll come out and talk to you. I mean, maybe that's just me. I've never been anywhere but Disney that does that. And they'll go over the menu with you. If you don't see anything, maybe that has a little leaf symbol, or everything is kind of looking like nothing's for you, the chef can come out, walk you through the menu, let you know what options there are available for you. Or if you're at like a buffet or something, they'll walk you through the entire buffet and point out everything that you can eat for your dietary restrictions, which is pretty cool. There is a restaurant in Cafe Orleans in Disneyland, and it's my cousin's all-time favorite place to eat. Every time we go, she has to eat there, and they have nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
So what do you do if you go to some place like that and they don't have anything on the menu specifically to offer?
So in that case, I've done a couple things. So you can always ask for the chef, and then, like we said, they can walk you through the menu. Sometimes when you do that, you get a really good custom meal that isn't even on the menu, like a secret menu kind of thing, because they'll, you can say, I'm a vegan, and then they'll say, yeah, well, we really don't have anything for that, but, I can whip this together for you and, make you a meal. So Disney's really accommodating when it comes to that. They know you want to eat with your family. So, and the chefs are really versatile in that sense. And I've gotten some really good like pasta dishes with veggies on it and stuff from that kind of thing. You can always ask to, like, when you get to the parks, I recommend doing this when you get to the parks sometime before if you have a dinner reservation or a lunch reservation, go to that restaurant and ask if you can take a peek at their menu, like ask the hostess, and you can see what's on their menu. And if it looks like they're not going to be anything for you, you can ask if you can bring in outside food from like counter service or something like that. This one is a little iffy, and it depends on the place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That same place, Cafe Orleans, they've told me no before. Like, no, you can't bring any outside food in unless you're sitting on the patio. And if you sit on the patio, if your party sits on the patio, then you can bring something in. So it just depends on the restaurant and, what their policies are, I guess. But yeah, it seems like, if there's a patio, if it's not as formal, sometimes you can bring in something and just explain your situation and say, look, I'm a vegan or I'm a vegetarian. There's nothing here for me, but my family really loves this place. And so what can I do to be able to eat here? Can I bring in something outside? And sometimes they're just really nice and say, yeah, sure. When you do that, I would say ask for, or get the person's name that you talk to, just in case, maybe you're talking to them in the morning and you come back at dinner and maybe things aren't aligning, with people.
So might be somebody else there too who,
Yeah. And you could just say, hey, I talked to so-and-so earlier. They said it would be okay if I brought this in so I can eat with my family. So just to kind of like cover yourself in that way.
That's a great idea. I mean, that's something that I would have never even had thought of, would be to potentially get something from someplace else and take it with you into the restaurant.
Mhm.
And I mean, like you said, I mean, it definitely kind of, maybe 50-50 on whether or not they will allow it. But again, it's something that like doesn't hurt to ask. And I think what's really important when we talk about any of this kind of stuff is that never be afraid to ask, for some type of accommodation sometimes, because I mean, it's Disney, right? I mean, Disney really wants you to have like the very best experience possible, and they're really going to try to go all out to make sure that you have that. So
exactly. Yeah, they're very accommodating to those things. So always ask.
Josh, you all right?
Sorry,
I forgot to breathe.
I did for a second. I'm sorry.
That's funny. Another thing you can do, and I don't know about Disney World. I've never done this at Disney World. I've only done this at Disneyland. Maybe you guys would know. But you can go to Town Hall and ask for the recipes of some of your favorite dishes. They don't have every recipe, but they do have some. And if you're like unsure of what's in it, or even if you want to recreate it yourself, you can go to Town Hall and sometimes they'll print you out the recipe.
I have heard that. I have heard about that. I want to say some of the restaurants actually have them on site where you can take them. Like I think they come on like little index cards, or maybe even a little bit bigger. But I'm sure like Town Hall probably has more of the wide variety of them.
Yeah.
I know Hollywood Studios, Brown Derby, they've got a few printouts that you can take with you. Coral Reef and Epcot. There's a few times that we've had a few dishes over there and we've asked about it. And I don't know if they actually have them on hand or if somebody back there is just printing them off. But it seems like there's, of course, we'll get you that recipe. No problem. And then they're back in like 2 or 3 minutes. So I also know that almost every restaurant, I'm pretty sure, if you and which is totally fine to like not feel like you can really trust people. If you really need to like look at the breakdown of all the ingredients that are in that stuff, I'm pretty sure almost every restaurant has like a master book of the recipe and all of those ingredients that go into that. And the chef, again, is always more than willing to come out, talk to you about that, show you that book, walk you step by step through that whole process.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go to Town Hall though, because I want to see if maybe I can get some recipes for certain things, because that would be really cool.
Let me know if they give them to you. So now I know if I could do it everywhere. The main reason how I figured it out, I can't remember how I found out, but the gumbo at Disneyland, this is why I know it's for sure at Disneyland. Okay. The gumbo at Disneyland, there's like a lot of people say it's vegan. And then a cast member told me it's not vegan. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Town Hall and just see what's in it. And on the ingredients is butter. And so I'm like, okay, so it's not vegan. But then people will say, yeah, but they stopped making it with butter. They just haven't changed the recipe. So those are kind of things that tough. Like, if you're vegan and you don't do cross-contamination in any way or anything like that, keep those things in mind that, sometimes there is a gray area where you're not really sure if it is or isn't. So I don't eat the gumbo when I would really like to, just because, the cast member that was actually serving it told me, no, it's not vegan, but social media says it is. So
is the gumbo like a festival thing, or is that restaurant here?
It's a counter service. I think it's all the time. It's in New Orleans Square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a bread bowl.
Josh, we'll have to try that out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'd love some gumbo.
I mean, it looks really good. So yeah, try it. But it's probably not vegan. But it might be. Who knows? Who knows at this point?
Well, and I mean, that's an interesting point when you talk about the kind of like the counter service / quick service restaurants. I don't know that they necessarily have somebody who is an actual dedicated chef, as opposed to like whenever you're at a sit down restaurant on property. But again, and I guess you probably did ask there at the window, probably, right, about it. So, again, it's a good thing that you asked though. Like that's don't always. I think what I'm trying to say is just don't take everything for face value, especially when it's on social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, and always ask. And
right,
you
absolutely.
know, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just because you saw it on Facebook doesn't mean that it's real. So.
Right. Double check. If it doesn't
Josh,
have the leaf, double check. That's
Josh,
like
that's where we get half our
main rule.
information, though.
Oh man, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
I think one of my last points, and then I can give you some of my favorite vegan foods.
Oh, I want to know that.
Is bring your own food. We do that a lot. Well, sometimes we'll bring our own breakfast and lunch and make dinner plans. Sometimes we don't bring food at all, but bring your own food. What we do is get a soft lunch or like a cooler.
Right.
Put ice packs in it, not regular ice, but ice packs, and then put it in a locker. And then when you're ready to eat, find a nice quiet spot to eat. It saves you money. You know exactly what's in your food. There's no questioning. So sometimes if you just want the easiest trip possible, sometimes it's easier to bring your own food. And we've even done it, staying on property where you only have like a microwave, maybe. You get a little fridge. Right. And, just if you're vegan or vegetarian, you kind of know what you can eat that doesn't have to be cooked. Right. Raw veggies, sandwiches, overnight oats, things like that, that are really easy to bring to the parks.
Yeah. That's a great idea. That's another thing too that I think a lot of people, at least I forget about all the time, is a locker. They're not free. You do have to pay extra for those, but if you can get one and bring a smaller cooler that'll fit inside there, then that way you don't have to worry about carrying it around, and it's in a place where the temperature is not changing routinely. Yeah. So it's pretty constant, which means your stuff's going to stay. Obviously you're putting ice packs in there, but that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea. So.
Yeah. It makes things a lot easier. Sorry, my cat's trying to get in the podcast. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions about it, or?
I'm intrigued on like, what are your go-to meals, like options, snacks, like what's your go-to restaurants where you're not going to run into any, I'm not going to say issues, but like where you feel the most comfortable restaurant wise in the parks?
Yeah, for sure. I think as far as like snacks go, like if you're just grabbing quick snacks, Dole Whip is my favorite. There's, I know your guys' Dole Whip conversation the other day. There is on Pixar Pier, and I can't remember what it's called. It's at the Adorable Snowman's place.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's lemon Dole Whip with like a blue slushie.
Ooh,
I love that. I love that even more than the regular Dole Whip. That is like my have to every single time.
You're writing that one down too, Josh?
Oh my gosh, it is so good.
Well, I just want to say for the record that I think it's unfair that Disneyland tends to have much better snacks for people to enjoy than Disney World does.
They do.
Ooh.
Disneyland has like the best churros.
Yep.
They have amazingly gourmet themed flavored churros. And you come over here to Disney World, you go to like Disney Springs or something, and it's like, yeah, we've got Fruity Pebbles, but we like crush it all up with the powdered sugar and we just dip it in there real quick. It kind of tastes like it. Like, that's not a real one. So
I think this is a whole nother episode, Josh.
But it is.
The food of Disneyland versus the food of Disney World.
Yes, it is.
I think that might actually be a two-parter.
And I've noticed too, so Disneyland has a lot more churro options, like you said. Yeah. Disney World has a lot more Dole Whip options. And I wish we could trade.
All right, that's fair. Let's
trade. If we could,
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
Because I need more Dole Whip, and you need more churros.
Right.
So that's one of my biggest complaints is like, why? Let's just have all the churros and all the Dole Whips at both places.
Would that just make life easier?
It would.
The world 100%. Would be just a better place if that would just happen.
It would. One of my other favorites is popcorn. You would think it's not vegan, but it is. People think like it's made with butter, but it's not. It's made with, I don't even know. I knew at one point. I don't remember now.
Is that a good thing that you don't know, or is it?
Yeah, probably. just close your eyes and eat it, and it always tastes better out of a popcorn bucket.
That's
I know
true.
you guys don't love the popcorn buckets, or at least Josh, you're not a.
I mean, I don't mind the popcorn buckets. Like, you mean the actual like plastic ones or the cardboard ones?
No, the plastic ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind those. They're just a little bit bigger to carry around. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, when you're vegan, you need your food to be as fun as possible.
True.
So eating it from a popcorn bucket just
Nothing
makes it a
wrong
lot
with that
better.
at all.
In Disneyland specifically, I don't know if anywhere in Disney World has it, but there is on the wharf, that wharf area where there's all that food. I'm going to butcher it. The Bhutan Bakery Tour. They have the most amazing sourdough bread. So every time we go, and just a little side note for everyone, I'm from California, so I go many, many times to Disneyland. So that's why I'm specific on those few things. But that sourdough bread is so amazing. We get it like the day before we leave, or the day before we leave. Then we bring it home and have like soups for like a few days off the sourdough bread. And it's like in the Mickey shape around Christmas. It's like a Christmas tree. It's really good.
Is that the place that does like the little tour? Am I thinking of something totally different? Maybe I'm thinking of something totally different. The last time we were there, I thought it was something like that. It was like sourdough bread, and it was like they were like handing out like little samples, and you kind of like walk through, and they were like talking about it. It was so overwhelming. Being there for the first time was very overwhelming. So it's hard to like. I'm trying to like. Ugh.
I thought you meant the sourdough bread was overwhelming.
No,
like, sourdough bread. I just can't deal.
I'm pretty sure the sourdough bread was amazing. So
yeah, that is probably the place. I think that is the same place. It's really good. My favorite restaurant, just like hands down, out of all the parks everywhere in the world. I mean, I've never been to the parts outside of the world or outside of the United States, but just I can only imagine this is the best meal for me in Disney, period, is the falafel at Skipper's Canteen.
All right.
I love it. It is so good. Every time we go, we will eat there every day that we're in Magic Kingdom, that falafel. I mean, the restaurant is a fun experience.
Right. I agree.
But the falafel is so good.
Josh, you've been there before, right?
Yeah. But I would have I would have never have guessed that would have been your go-to place.
And I'm not a big falafel person, but that falafel,
I'm not either, but I'm writing it down because now I'm going to probably go try it. So
try it. Let me know what you think. Also, who else has good falafel? Which, for not being a falafel person, I'm talking a lot about falafel. But Tiffin's. When we were there last, Tiffin's didn't really have a lot of options, but they did have their one dish that was falafel that we were able to eat. And that one was really good too. Not as good as Skipper Canteen's, but really good still. You writing that down too? Because don't you really like Tiffin's?
I do like Tiffin's. It's a little bit more unique than what you'd find at most of the other restaurants, I think, as far as like the menu goes. So yeah, I did write that.
That one's really good.
I'll probably go to Skipper Canteen first though, because it's going to be cheaper than it is at Tiffin's.
Right? Yeah, that was some expensive falafel. Maybe that's why I like it better at Skipper's Canteen.
Maybe.
And falafel's just fun to say.
Yeah. The Mickey waffles are not vegan, but you can always ask for a vegan option, like if you're at a buffet or something, and they'll make you vegan Mickey waffles. And I believe they're gluten-free also. Don't quote me on it, but I think that they are. Yeah. And those are really good. For breakfast, at least. There's not a lot of vegan breakfast options at Disney. So the Mickey waffles are just kind of like a given. And then Galaxy's Edge has some amazing vegan stuff. Like at Dock Bay 7, they have, I'm not even going to try and say what the meal is called because I'm going to butcher it. But it's like a vegan meatballs and hummus. I think they give you a couple little squares
I've had that.
Bread.
And it is really, really good.
Yes.
I mean, I obviously, like, I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian, but there are definitely times where I will try to branch out of my own comfort zone to try something like that. And that was fantastic. Really, really good. Recommend trying it if you're looking to try something new.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's probably my second favorite meal at Disney for vegan options. And also at Galaxy's Edge, the Ronto-less garden wrap.
Oh, okay.
So they do have I don't know, I think they have a regular Ronto wrap, but then they also have a vegan one, which is like just vegan sausage in the wrap with all the fixins. I don't even know what's in it. I just eat it.
Josh, didn't you try that a couple weeks ago?
Did I try that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I want to say you did. Yeah.
On a live stream?
I want to say it was right around your birthday.
I want to say that I tried whatever was for breakfast, but I don't know that it was the vegan one.
I thought you had the vegan Ronto wrap.
I'd have to go back and look.
I remember you and Taylor were in the corner. Some little girl behind you was really excited to see you.
Oh, that's right.
I do remember really excited to see Taylor, and then you were just there.
I remember being there, but I can't remember. Maybe I did get it. But
I have downtime between classes, so
nothing wrong with that.
I get your views up.
Right. We appreciate that. We appreciate that viewership.
Yeah, it's good. I really love that one. I think the blue and green milks are also vegan over there. They're made with rice milk.
Yep.
So those are vegan. Good. Yeah. I like the blue one, not so much the green one.
Well, you're in your own category, so.
Right. I think my last favorite thing is at Port Orleans French Quarter, you can get vegan beignets.
Ooh.
Oh,
and it's the only spot that you can get vegan beignets. And if you're at Disney, you have to have beignets. So it's
for sure
a must do. You just take an Uber. That's what we do. Wherever we are, we just take an Uber or a Lyft and we go over there for the vegan beignets. They're not in the shape of Mickey. They're squares.
Right.
But
I think they're regular. Well, I guess I do have some Mickey shaped ones too.
Mm-hmm. I wish they would make them in the shape of Mickey because that would make it more fun.
I think sometimes we get the alcohol-ish versions, and they don't. I don't think they're Mickey ones. I think they're the regular square ones.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But
and that's about it. I mean, what I'm curious to know is what your guys' favorite meal is, even if it's not vegan, obviously. But what is if you can only eat at one place, one meal, where would you eat?
Well, mine's obviously I eat at Tusker House.
Right. But what's the meal?
Oh, I just
everything,
the whole thing.
Because it's such a wide variety.
Yeah,
I think that's my spot. And
he goes up there with his plate and he walks back and it's literally a tower of food. Just it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything.
And then on the other hand, I have my other plate.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
It's a skill. That's one skill that I actually have. I can balance 2 plates of food, and then I can make them disappear really fast. But like, yeah, I would say Tusker House is one of mine, and I'm a big fan of the Wave. I think that's a very underrated restaurant, and I really enjoyed it there.
Actually, I haven't eaten there, so
I would say the bacon and eggs, but I know that's probably not on your to-do list.
No, that's funny.
I will say that I hate answering this question because I can never come up with like whatever our favorite is or whatever my favorite is. But what I will say is that one thing that I have enjoyed more than anything else is the festivals that over at Epcot and having the opportunity to try so many new and different things. And you don't have to commit to an entire meal. It's really just something where you spend $5, $6, $7. It could be a little bit more than that sometimes, depending on what it is. But it is probably one of the best ways that you can really branch out and try something new. And of all of those food booths, at least to my recollection at the moment, the vegetarian, like vegan option booth for Flower and Garden Festival and for Food and Wine, when they kind of have one, tends to be my favorite. The Impossible Meatballs, which I don't really remember if they're actually vegan. They may have just been vegetarian, but
they should be. If it's Impossible, they're vegan.
Yeah, those are like, oh man, I was so disappointed when they didn't have them this year. I was really broken up inside about it.
Yeah.
But they still had some really great options to replace that this year too, to give people a little bit more variety and try something new. So that would be my answer.
They might
I'm
be the
cheating,
same meatballs at Galaxy's Edge. I don't know. They might be though.
I don't know if they are. I mean, they could be very similar, and then they're just prepared a little bit differently with seasoning and everything else because of how they are served. But it's possible. But boy, those were my favorite though. Those were good.
That's funny. Yeah, that's all I got. I mean, that's pretty much everything that I do to make sure I have the best trip and enjoy what I'm eating and make the most of it. So
awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on and sharing that with everybody. I mean, I know that we've already learned quite a bit, so I'm sure this has been extremely helpful for so many others out there as well. So we thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Matt.
Do you want to throw up Brittany's email in case anybody has any questions they want to?
Yes, absolutely.
Need to get Brittany some love. Get her any clients that have any questions.
If you've got questions, you want to book something with Brittany, I mean, vegan options. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. She can help you start planning, whether it's probably not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. I don't know. So
for sure. Even tonight, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Cool. Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Josh, do we want to talk a little bit about next week's episode of
yeah, I mean,
it could be one thing, it could be another, it could actually be a third thing. We're actually not sure.
We're kind of up in the air at the moment. So if what we had planned doesn't come to fruition, we're going to be talking about Universal. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes going on over there. A lot of stuff has, like I said, a lot of stuff has changed. So Taylor and I just spent the week over there this past week. We're going to be back over there this week. And so if everything else fails, we're going to be talking about Universal. And I don't know. Yeah. Anything else to add, Matt?
We'll hold off on the other subjects until we get some confirmation if these people still really exist.
Right.
Unfortunately,
well, I know one of them does, but
well, mine just doesn't respond to emails anymore. So. If you're watching this, respond to my email.
Nice.
You know who you are.
Good. Very good. Very good.
But other than that, make sure to subscribe to the Go Getaways YouTube channel. Give us a big thumbs up, and now we're off to plan your next vacation.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Bye. Thank you.